here it is, and everywhere in the world. What's up out there? Unblinded movement, unblinded ecosystem. Hope everybody is doing amazingly well. And this is our inaugural Huddle on Clubhouse. So thank you for being here as we just get started. And so the question to open today with is, what do you want and what don't you want in your life? Like, what are you sick of not having in your life? Frustrated, aggravated, that you're taking action, you're investing energy, your money is not rising, you're not creating more time freedom. What is it that you're sick, aggravated, frustrated, disgusted, and be like, bring it present, like bring the pain present. This is not how we open every huddle, certainly for sure, but bring the pain present. Because I have hit a threshold myself. So I'm always as transparently, authentically present and real. And there's things that I have confronted. Thank you, formula. We have a formula here, the unblinded formula. And I'm present to the formula. And that makes clear to me, the things that aren't where they can be. And we're committed to making them and bringing them. So I'm like present to deletion, dilution, distortion, and it's evisceration. Because what we have and what's at stake, we have is the possibility for more money, time, and magic. And in the magic, what's at stake are saving children from sex trafficking, curing diseases, feeding people, magical moments, enjoyment, peace, love, contribution, creating a legitimate third political party so we don't have to choose between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And that's not the situation that our nation is in. And there's not people attacking the Capitol and systemic racial bias, people being shot and killed because of skin color. All of these problems are getting solved in a new and different way. And if you don't get your money, time, and magic squared away, and you don't eliminate the waste, you can't possibly have the impact you want to have. And I was in my house last night till about midnight with my son, Tyler, and Ty and I were having a conversation. We'll recreate this when he comes on later in the week. And the conversation was, he was just so upset about so many things. And I leaned in at some point, and, you know, we're physically separated for a while. I mean, we saw each other on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve because of COVID, and some of his commitments and belief around COVID, and with his grandfather being, you know, older, and on his mom's side, just a whole bunch of stuff. So, you know, we hadn't been in intense physical proximity for a while. We have spent his entire life, enormous amounts of time together. He's just been away at college. It was the longest period where we haven't had intense time together. So we've been having some intense time together. And he was just saying, you know, I just need to vent. I was listening, just about a lot of stuff. It was awesome, right? Sometimes we just need to be heard. So at some point I said, listen, do you want to just be heard, or do you want some support, guidance, advice? Like, is this just loving hearing, or do we want solutions? Like, which is the space that you want? And he said, I need you to be heard for a little bit longer. I said, great. And then eventually he said, yeah, no, I want you to tell me what you think. I said, what I think is that you're watching the news, you're on social media, and you're not in the modules, and you're not running your own Real Raw, and you're not building your speaking platform. So the very problems that you're complaining about, you're going to end up like everybody else who sits on the couch and bitches and complains and judges other people and does nothing fucking about it. And yes, there'll be some F-bombs today, and I declare the right to say F-bombs when I'm in the mode. Forgive me for it, but some might fly today. And that might be the last one. It may not be the last one. So I understand if you have to check out at this moment. I'm doing my best. So I am present to Zeus energy and thunderbolts and lightning at the highest level. So I said, I'm like, Ty, you know, you're amazing. Your grades are incredible. You're doing such a fantastic job. I'm so proud of you. I'm just offering you a possibility that sitting and complaining about anything is not going to solve it. And you're not going to solve it this week. You're going to solve it by becoming a person of massive influence. And I'm going to put that out there and challenge. There's incredible division. And this is not the point of the huddle. The point of the huddle is actually how you build, grow, and scale. And the flag on the ground that I have is not about people being upset. It's about in the world and the politics and the division and free speech and all those things that are present. But what I will tell you is we're not going to cause any meaningful outcome by posting divisive statements or code divisive statements in our social media. It's just utterly ridiculous. We're going to create change, and you're going to create impact by having 10 people and 100 people enter your tribe that see you as an inspirational thought leader and a force for good, and then that becoming 1,000. And we're creating leaders here. We're not influencing each other here. Like, we know each other. We're integrous. We're heart-centered. It's go out there and bring heart-centered, integrous leadership to people. And let's build, grow, and scale together. And you go, well, why would I even want to do that together? Okay, you don't have to do it together. But I tell you what, it creates a lot to do these things and to bring people together in a huge way. I'm not saying you can't, but people that are unified under common principles, that's why the United States is the United States and Lithuania is Lithuania. Because amazing people coming together do incredible things. Now, we're a little bit off track right now in the United States, and I am present to that reality. We're wildly off track in certain ways, but like sometimes micro distinctions could put us right back on track in a hurry. And I am confident believing we can be, but it's not going to be by being divisive and creating battles. What is going to create that outcome, and by the way, footnote, because some people, I want to lean into this, had sent some videos to watch and things to think about the election, and all of those are being processed. And I actually have Tyler reaching out and fact checking certain things directly with people. For example, somebody sent a video of a gentleman who said that he's a billionaire and he's hired a team of people in Texas to look into the Dominion machines, because Dominion's also filed a defamation lawsuit, by the way, against President Trump's attorneys for defamation and all the things, saying it's for $1.3 billion. Now, by the way, filing a lawsuit doesn't mean somebody's right, because if you haven't been sued frivolously yet, I hope you never are, but if you grow, you probably will be. And then that'll be your own interesting, fun experience of how you process and deal with that. Footnote for another day. So we're fact checking with these people out there in Texas to see what this guy's talking about. So they hired a team of experts. They're analyzing machines. They have data. And so we are reaching out to see what the facts actually are. So point is, we are never, if we make a statement on here about something and new information comes to us, we're going to fact check it for its source of credibility endlessly, no matter where it's coming from. And okay, as long as it's coming from a remotely credible source, and the person has sent it is certainly a credible source. I don't know if it's a credible source, this person, but we're going to fact check it. So just understanding that Unblinded is the space of truth. We're the space of like never endingly, especially the things we talk about, of course, the things we talk about, to make sure that we're looking into things. But that is not the purpose today. The purpose of today is to get your head out of that space. Get your head out of that space, except for a limited part of the day. If you want to know what's going on, make a choice. Spend 5 minutes in it to 30 minutes in it. I guarantee you do not need more than 30 minutes in it. Spend 5 minutes to be updated. Or if you're actually trying to create something, let's say you actually want to like somehow overturn this election, which I think is impossible, but let's say that's your mission. Then go talk to somebody with evidence and go figure out there's evidence, vet it for yourself, then organize a group of people around it, but just don't join in and listen to people that don't know what they're talking about and have no evidence of something, right? Into a general cry for help. Do something to actually create a change. If you're outraged by what happened with Parler, right? Then start creating a new platform, right? Start creating a new platform. Start talking to Bill Gross, send letters to Idea Lab and organizing people to create something to compete with Google to be the search engine of the internet. That could create change. I don't know if that's the answer, but I certainly know the answer isn't just posting online and venting into the world. And I honor if there's some emotion that's about you, but I don't know that posting it out into the world, creating more division between you and other people that might be great business allies and contacts that just may have a little bit of a different perspective than you, is the way to go. But I'll tell you what is the way to go. Here's what is the way to go. What is the way to go is to decide, are you a seeker or are you an executor? Are you a seeker or are you a person who executes? Actually, better yet, are you a seeker or are you a master? New framework from Unblinded. Are you a seeker or are you a master? Because this is a talent hotbed to give rise in mastery, right? We are empathetic, we are loving, it is amazing, but this is the space of rising of mastery, because it's only in the space of rising of mastery that real change comes. Now, if you're a seeker, right, you're not excluded from being here. There's no exclusion. But if you're a seeker, then you can get excluded by getting in the way of those that are masters or masters in the making. And I'm speaking to nothing specific except confronting of ourself at Unblinded, because watch two things I'm going to explain. One is going to be a macro process mastery and self-mastery concept. And one is going to be a micro concept for you about how you make sure you achieve the yes you are seeking. It's how to make sure. And I'll seed the issue, which is, do you know the yes you're seeking? Because in every encounter that you go into, you need to know, from my heart to yours, you must know the yes you're seeking. And if you're not certain and committed to your yes, and it's an integrous yes, to be committed to the integrous yes you are seeking, because somebody, and this is from a non-integrous movie or conversational thing, but in every encounter, somebody is getting a yes on something. It's a yes, I agree to not get your yes yet, or yes, you're saying yes to me. Somebody is getting a yes. You are the other person, but the key is it's not confrontational and adversarial. It's their future. So in my conversation with Tyler, he's either going to stop driving himself nuts, thinking about all these things, and do something that's going to fill his heart, be purposeful, and not drive up sentiments of upset, frustration, anger, sadness, hopelessness, which is what the effing media and social media do all day long, because they want you addicted to it. It's why Jerry Springer is successful, because it's easier to look at pain and go, oh my God, and oh yeah, like right. It's just easier. Somehow it's easier. We are not wired for thriving. We have to demand it of ourselves every day, every morning, right? So let's lean in. Fernando, what is ridiculous about what has happened Unblinded for 12 months? Because I'm making a public proclamation that if we don't fix this, then you shouldn't listen to what I say. If I can't fix this, then you shouldn't listen to what I say, or Adam says, or Fernando says anymore. And we're going to put ourselves out there on a daily basis if we don't solve for this. So what is a 12-month ridiculous dynamic of Unblinded? I am putting the future of this company on the line and the end of my leadership of this movement if I cannot fix this in 90 days. And I will regularly and continuously monitor it. Fernando, what am I talking about?
Ask that question one more time.
What is ridiculous that we haven't fixed that I've been screaming about for 12 months? What have we not done?
What is ridiculous that you've been screaming about for 12 months is to stop thinking about what to do and to pick up the phone and call people you just don't effing know.
No, but for us at Unblinded, what three groups of people does our story resonate with the most, who are the most influential people in the country that I am not speaking in front of, that we are Unblinded,
lawyers,
me in front of, and that we're not bringing on the railroad every day? What are they?
Connectors, mavens, and salespeople that are lawyers, accountants, and financial service providers. And it is insane. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Please.
It is insane. And I told you this morning, screw it. Let's just open it up. I'm going to pretend no one's on the call. I am sick and effing tired of hearing you say it. Not because like you're annoying me. It's because I feel stupid, dumb, and incompetent that you've been saying what you've done to achieve what you've achieved. I have not achieved what you achieved. And yet we're just not doing it as a team. And I'll speak for myself. I am not doing it. And it's utterly ridiculous that I keep deciding to wake up every day of my lovely life and eat a bowl of fucking pain for breakfast. It is remarkable to me that that's even an option. That when I sit alone, when no one's around, when the lights aren't on, when I'm not, in character, when I'm not leading an at cause, when I am questioning why the heck do not I not have all the money, time, and magic I desire, when we are working 18 hours a day, why the F am I doing so much, standing for so many people, doing all these incredible things, and not doing the three simple requests that you have made before Unblinded even started? They haven't changed. You haven't wavered. at all. You have given no wiggle room for like, well, maybe he meant this. No, he said this, period. End of conversation. I can sit here and give over 100 data points on why, and I'm not believing you because you're a good dude, you're nice, you believe in God. Yeah, all those things are true. I'm believing you because they work and you prove them mathematically. That's it. And until I become Albert Einstein and I come up with a better equation, which isn't my intention, and if anyone here is trying to come up with a better intention, why are we here? Why are we spending our life energy, however the heck you want to like internalize it? If we're here to get from Sean to create our own plan, why the heck are we here anyway? Go create your own plan and come back, beat Sean, and then we'll all follow you gladly. Sean will follow you to the ends of the earth if your plan and your mathematical equation is better than the one we're creating. Until then, let's just solve the math problem. Let's add, subtract, multiply, and divide and get what we want so that we can have the freaking bandwidth to maybe innovate on the equation.
Yeah. So agreed. And we're specifically talking about, you're like, okay, so what's my takeaway from today? And I'm going to lean into it in a second. The takeaway is, number one, to just execute what we're saying and pulling the 7 levers. But the practical, that's the conceptual takeaway. The practical takeaway is to walk into every single conversation you have, knowing what your outcome is. So let me lean into that for a second, and then we'll go backwards. It is 1997. I would be lying to you if I told you the date. So I will certainly not lie to you. But it is actually, I'm not even sure if it's late 97 or early 98. Okay. But for the sake of today, I'll go actually early 98. I get a phone. You've heard me tell the story, but I'm going to tell a piece I told yesterday, haven't told publicly often, and maybe never. Okay. It is 1998. I get a phone call. And this is when I had spoken at the Northern New Jersey Chiropractic Society. You've heard that piece, but you've also heard the piece about the guy with the lion. And I get the phone call, and it is, hey, I know this crazy chiropractor in Central Jersey who needs help with his, quote, pip arbs. Do you want to meet him? The business is too small for us. It's not something that I want to do. This is from the former firm I left when I quit my job. It was a friend of mine named John, right? Who, by the way, somebody call John Anzalone today from Unblinded, please, and get John Anzalone on the real raw. He is the vice president, ready for this? How crazy is this? Of the NJAJ, the New Jersey Administrator for Justice, the New Jersey Trial Lawyers Association, the guy that made the connection, who's my friend, has not been on the real raw yet. Is that crazy, Fernando?
That is pretty crazy.
Okay. John Anzalone, okay? And who was there in all the stories, right? Back in the day. So John goes, hey, there's this crazy chiropractor. And he goes, yeah, do you want to do his pip arbs? Too small for us. I said, book the meeting for tonight. And what the hell is a pip arb? Andy's a pod, his own action style, right? I go to the guy's house. You've heard me say this. It looks like it's huge, sports cars, and I'm just reeling today. Wife, 20 years younger, like that is like speaks with a heavy, thick accent. It's like out of a movie, right? He's got the lion in his backyard. He's got 2 attack dogs. One is from the German Border Patrol. The other is from the Czechoslovakian secret police. This is the story he tells me, that both were attacking people and crazy. And like, it's all alpha Zeused up everything in every direction, in every way. Okay. And I'm scared. And I'm nervous. And I am broke. And I am desperate. I'm scared. I am nervous. I am broke. I am desperate. And I do not have this formula. What I did have, what I do have at that moment is I do have that Tony Robbins taught me through Awaken the Giant Within, how to cope, shift, break through my fear, and to be certain of my outcome. That's all I got. And I have Jay Abraham's work teaching me about exponentiality, residual. So I understand the math. That's all I got walking into this man's house and sitting there before him. His certainty level is at a level that is indescribable. Indescribable. And mine is not. Mine is low. But I know what I'm anchored to, which is my outcome, is to have this gentleman give me a chance to do this work that I don't even know what it is, but I am desperate for work. Desperate for work. And I asked John, is this something I can make money doing? He goes, yes. It's like too little for us, but yes, you can. So go into the guy's house, certain of my outcome. And then he tells me, he goes, listen, this is how this is all going to work. You know, there's a lot of money in this. And there's like fee shifting provisions with the state. So yeah, like I'm going to own part of your law firm. I'm like, what? Like, you can't do that. It's not ethical. He goes, yeah, but we'll figure it out. And da-da-da, and da-da-da. And I'm like, in that moment, my heart is dropping into my stomach. I'm like, there is just, I can't believe, I'm so disappointed. I was so excited. I was nervous, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I'm like, I can never succeed because this is what it looks like when you are working with people who have a different economic level and they're in a different place and they're never going to listen and they're going to ask me to do things I can't do. And I was distraught. I'm ready to give up. Right there, I'm ready to give up. And then I remember what I know, that I'm committed to the outcome. And then I think, I'm here for a reason. And I'm here because he has some pain. And I move into the formula without yet knowing truly there is a formula. But I had begun to learn about pain and some things. And 4 hours later, back and forth and back and forth, and me just shifting my energy and asking questions and saying, listen, I can't do that. I can't do that. And you could do that with somebody else. What I can do, though, is I can collect your money and I could be your attorney. I can't be your partner in a venture that it can't be structured legally that way. And it was like, no, we can, but offshore, the whole around the circuit. And so finally I say, listen, give me a chance to collect your money. I uncover that he's owed a lot of money from a major insurance company. I said, I'll do it for free. Give me 30 days, pay me when this is done. And eventually he says yes. He sends me over a bunch of cases. And that leads to a short time after that, me delivering $3 million to his house. It changed my life. But none of it would ever have happened if I wasn't committed to the outcome. And if I wasn't committed to adding value to him, just not in the way he thought he wanted it. Because let me tell you something. That was one happy man when I delivered those $3 million to his home. And we sat in the chairs in the new whole cabana and pool and all the new stuff that was built in the backyard and the new beach house that he bought, or bay house with a boat, with all of it. And I sat in the boat, sat in the house. None of those things would have happened unless I understood what value he really wanted. And had he kept going down that road, other catastrophic things would have happened. Now, that person later didn't listen and created more new challenges and dynamics, story for a different day. But all of those things happened for him, because I was committed to the outcome and clear that I wasn't going to have his story, his outcome become my outcome. And not out of any ego, because I moved to the same side of the table and had my arm around him to create the optimal and correct outcome. And it is in that space that I am certain you, all of you, have a massive opportunity to be clear and committed to your outcome. And following merge ecosystem, build your speaking platform, which is not a Facebook Live. It is I bring five, you bring five, you bring five, all the things that we say. Filter and accelerate through your real raw. Have sales meetings, ask for specifics, stop seeking certainty from each other. Stop seeking certainty from each other. Find uncertainty in deep practice every day. Do your 18 levers, your ECD time each and every day. All those things, and the key outcome, the key takeaway for today is to be committed in your agreement formation to your outcome. Do not let anybody shift you, because you could be in a sales meeting and they could take you to an ecosystem merger conversation. They could take you down the path of what they think is best for you and for them. And they're probably wrong. But even if they're not, like, even if there's a bunch of ways to do it, you're not stepping into their frame and story. You're committed to yours, unless theirs makes more sense in some incredible way. But stay committed to your outcome. Stay committed to your outcome in every one of these conversations. And what I am committed to, and by the way, we've done insane things in the acceleration of Unblinded. And we could pat ourselves in the back and go, wow, this is like really great and exciting. And it is great and exciting. And it's not even close, though, to what still would have been possible if we followed our optimal process mastery. And I'm committed to locking it in. So is Adam. So is Fernando. So is the entire team. And you want to know what set this off? Is about 7 things happened yesterday that all showed me deletion, dilution, distortion. Micro deletion, micro deletion, micro deletion. And that's all it takes to put yourselves massively off track. So I want to share from my heart to yours that we're going to be tracking, hey, what are we doing on the real raw with accountants, lawyers, financial services providers? How are we going through the transitional stage of bringing in additional coaches, creating additional speaking platforms? All the things that we're investing in doing is amazing what's happened. And it will be exponentially amplified and accelerated as we stop deleting, diluting, distorting. I want to give acknowledgement and thanks to Tony Robbins this weekend as I went through another value chain breakdown exercise, which is certainly what our process mastery system brings present. It certainly helps to be stepping into it, facilitated and led by Tony, of course. And so I went through it, and he brought beautifully, wonderfully, thankfully, pain present to me as I examined in all of my world, all the places that I am in a blocked, immersive time where I am deleting, diluting, and distorting. And I'm so thankful to him, again, as always. And I'm so thankful that at Unblinded, we have a formula to remedy that. And I'm present to it. Adam Gugino, final from you, please.
Absolutely committed to the outcome. Being committed to the outcome creates freedom, more money, more time, more magic. And you're only committed by measuring and monitoring. It's all right there in the formula. And it's exactly what we're going to be doing.
Your call to action today, thank you, AJ. Your call to action today out there, and drop it in the chat, is what are your outcomes in every sales meeting to rise your money? What are your outcomes in transitioning from a speaking engagement to a sales meeting? What are your commitments around filtering, accelerating, ecosystem merging through your real raw into your speaking platform and/or direct client meetings? What are they? Because if you're not precisely laser focused, then you're going to lose massive amounts of compounding acceleration over the course of 2021. And if you do, I want to make sure it is on you, and that I have a tape to go back to, recordings tape that shows my age, recordings to go back to, over and over again, right? To remind you continuously of how you got there. And if you love people in this movement, confront numbers. How many sales meetings you're having, right? And that doesn't go, well, maybe then, the formula is not working for me or you. That's completely effing ridiculous. It's finding where that spot is on your own every day in ECD time. And instead of asking for help, answer your own questions during ECD time, confirm in our one-on-one sessions. And then when you talk to your friends in the movement, be inspiring them for how much you are kicking ass. And Chaz, in a moment, we're going to close it out with Enter Sandman by Metallica. But Fernando, final. Enter Sandman coming up.
Final is, I'm so fucking sick and tired of hiding that I literally want to cry. I have spent so much of my life making sure people liked me. I'm not one to caretake. I don't have a lot of patience for my own excuses, let alone other people's. And I can't stand explaining things. I like to play. I like to get hit in the mouth. I like to get like a dentist to put my tooth back in, and I want to get back in the game. And I am done. It is over. Like, this is not me being an a-hole. It's just being honest that our money, time, and magic matters. And none of this is of self-interest. None of it at all. It is literally all in service of you. I ask myself sometimes, 20 hours, like a day, is it worth it? And the answer is always yes when I get through my own ego. And today is the day I put the flag in the ground that I am done having people wanting to like me. Because the truth is, if I keep showing up that way, I think I'm not going to like myself.
Yeah.
And that's a lot more painful.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting is, at one point, going back in time, and if Bella's out there, I'd love for Bella to share like what's present for her around this conversation in a sec. Somebody said, I think to you, Adam, like sometimes it feels like we're like talking like Bobby Knight from Indiana, like throwing chairs at people and slapping people. We're not slapping people. I'm talking to you the way Coach Ennis spoke to me, who loved me. And he caused me to stop doing things that were painful for myself when I was in my own self-mastery holes and challenges. And I'll give you a fun Coach Ennis-ism, right? That we were at Columbia, because he went from Emerson, my high school, and he became the pitching coach at Columbia. Footnote, my high school coach, Coach Larry Ennis, when he passed away, Ernie Accorsi, the general manager from the New York Football Giants, spoke at his funeral. And Bill Parcells wrote something that said that Coach Ennis had been a mentor of his when Bill Parcells was growing up. And Bill Parcells had brought Coach Ennis to the New York Giants to be an assistant running backs coach with the Giants. That's how much he loved Coach Ennis as my high school baseball coach, who everywhere he went, gold occurred. He worked with Tommy John, a incredibly successful pitcher in the major league. He just everywhere went was gold. When he went to Columbia, they became the #1 pitching staff, Division I in America, in his second year at Columbia. Insane. So my co-captain our senior year, Chris Zander, Coach Ennis only coached Columbia the fall of my freshman year. And when Coach Ennis was at Columbia the fall of my freshman year and he met Chris Zander, Chris took a ground ball and turned his head, right? And Coach Ennis walked up to Chris very patiently, very calmly, which was Coach Ennis' style. He said, son. He would always say, son. He said, son. And Chris said, yes, coach. He said, I would rather you lose 2 front teeth than us lose 1 out. And just walked away. And so what he was telling Chris is, like, make a decision. Like, are you in the game or not? He meant, like, when you turn your head, you're protecting your face, which is just not what you do as an athlete. You don't avoid contact. You don't avoid the situation. You lean in, you accelerate, you're all in or you're not. Like, that's what he was saying to Chris Zander. And to this, I haven't talked to Chris in a couple of years. I was, best friends, and we're still great friends. Just, life has gotten busy, and actually that's something I should confront in my wheel of life, because I love Chris. But Chris would always talk about that story as one of the most profound moments of his life. And Chris has gone on to be unbelievably successful, working with some of the wealthiest people in America, and handling their finances, and just incredible person, running like family offices and trusts and whatever. And Chris got cut from the team his first 2 years and was captain with me senior year. And he often talks about how Coach Ennis lit that fire inside of him to confront himself, confront his fear, and to distinguish between being 99% in and 100% in. And turning his head in a moment of fear was being less than 100% in. So Bella, are you out there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, so what is present for you around this conversation to this crazy Zeused up lightning bolt morning?
I love all your Zeus's, and it's always super fun. And I stand with Fernando, tired of hiding and what's coming present for me is I did a talk on a stage a couple years ago where I took my clothes off on stage. That happened. I might have had yoga clothes underneath, but I literally and the whole talk was about, because I was doing a talk in front of, quote, in your words, like seekers and like coaches coaching coaches was the group I was doing a talk for. And I did this talk and it was about the people you need to impact, or what I called on the other side of the five. I was living in San Diego at the time, and all of the professionals lived on the west side of the five, and all the coaches lived on the beach and all the things, and it was about the people you need to the whole premise of the talk was the people you need to impact are on the other side of the five. They're not in this circle, they're not hanging out in this room, they're on the other side of the five. And so that is what I'm present to, and what you keep nailing home is those people. I got a call. Those people that we need to impact are on the other side of the five, and what daily moment by moment action are we taking to impact those people? And I'm with Fernando. There's been a piece of hiding present and flag in the ground, making a stake of not hiding. Where am I going out and doing where am I going out and doing my talks and taking my clothes off?
Well, that is definitely a t-shirt. That's a new quote on a t-shirt for sure. No, but that is a profound moment. And I want to ask for permission for Adam, Fernando, Bella. Do you give me permission to confront and lean in the space for our authenticity here around what we're doing and how we're doing it? So we are truly, we're doing a lot of great things here. But we are truly elevating our game along with challenging everybody to elevate their game. Do I have that permission?
100%.
Undoubtedly, yes.
Awesome.
Rising tide. Yeah, rising tide lifts all boats, and even where can I even move closer in with Adam and Fernando in that, and where can we challenge each other as well? Yeah. So it's not always just you.
And just for fun, it happened a little bit yesterday in a conversation that Bella had, where somebody is like, hey, you know what? Instead of coming in the program, and I'm not really ready to do that, why don't we start? And this is a very strong ecosystem partner. It's like, hey, why don't we start doing clubhouses together and these things together and those things together? And it's like, I'm going to put this flag in the ground. Bella, your space is being the space of creating acceleration for people. And your space is speaking on extraordinary stages. And if anybody wants your time and attention, they should be paying you for it, period. Unless there is an unbelievably direct reason. Same thing, Adam, Fernando. And I want the same thing for all of you out there. And tonight, we're going to continue this conversation. We do an amazing breakthrough session with somebody who comes from the other side of the five, right? Maybe not comes from, but is on the other side of the five in the world of investment banking. Somebody that's come into the elite program. It is truly has an unbelievable and extraordinary story. And we're going to do an intervention around the space of what it looks like to create that acceleration. And this is not a person hanging out with the seeker crowd. And this is a person that is hanging out with some of the hungriest, most direct, and the complete opposite world. And it'll be incredibly interesting to lean in on some of that subject matter this evening, right, with Anna, as well as this. I am not being disparaging or derogatory when I say that I'm not making somebody be a seeker. They are acting like seekers. And my definition of a seeker is somebody that is looking solely to coach coaches, and they're looking for the people who are struggling the most mightily, and they're coaching those people because they're the only people that they can go from hello to yes with. If you can take people that are coaches that are succeeding and go from hello to yes with those people as your client, you're not a seeker. You're not a seeker because you're a coach. You're not a seeker because you're coaching coaches. You're a seeker in my definition, right? Because you're only looking to work with the folks that are completely lost, don't have the revenue and money to pay you, and you're struggling yourself financially, and you're in such scarcity that you're seeking to work with the people because you're so lost and challenged that that's the only space and the people that you can work with. And when those people are being taken advantage of in bulk in large places, then that's wildly frustrating and painful to me. In the space of personal development, I want to give all of those people who are struggling the most mightily the formula because they need it desperately, right? And I want to make sure that we are converting the teaching of the people selling to those people to be partnering with Unblinded and bringing the formula into place, because it is what's going to solve all the challenges down the food chain of getting everybody the money they want. So I'm in service of people that want to coach, because my coaching class, final for me, at IPEC coaching school back in the day, virtually out of 36 people in my direct class, none of those people are making any money. None of those people are coaching anybody. None of those people are doing anything except talking to each other about how much they love the world, wanted to change the world, and about how coaching was the way. But if you can't get people to be your coaching client, then you're not causing leadership, you're not causing influence, and nothing is happening. And when we coach accountants, we train a partner and coach accountants, lawyers, investment bankers, private equity people. These are our clients, politicians, media giants. Now we're changing the world. And those are the leaders we're giving rise to in the mastery side of the equation. So make a choice in the chat. Are you committed to mastery? And if you're not committed to mastery, then you're just seeking. Like, you're either committed to nothing, seeking, or mastery. That's a scoop. Love you guys. Enter Sandman. Let's finish this thing up. Adam, Fernando, Bella, thank you very much. Love you all. Have a brilliant, beautiful, amazing day. Love you. Love other people. Be committed to your outcome in every conversation. You're in the talent hotbed for increasing your money, time, and magic in the world. Thanks.